Welcome to the Cardano Sense DC Daily Fund show, where we go over at least 3 proposals a day that are fighting for funds, that are trying to get their hands on the treasure chest, the Cardano treasure chest. This funding period, we're still in funding period 3. It's $500,000, so $500,000. My name's Anthony. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build up a little bit of a following. I'd like to do this live, so instead of me just telling you my opinion, we can kind of go back and forth a little bit on these proposals. This show is brought to you by a website I created here. It's called the CardanoFund.com. This website is essentially just a place where you can go and look at the funds without having to create a logon. So it's easy to go here, look at the proposals, kind of go through them. I've also decided to blog these reviews, so if you don't want to watch this, you can read the reviews. That is also on my website. The show is also brought to you by my stake pool, Sophie Stake Pool. We're doing pretty good. We've done 91 blocks so far. We're a small stake pool, only 500,000 ADA, so we got plenty of room to grow, but we are making blocks. All right, now let's get down to what I like to call the state of the fund. So Fund 3, there are two proposals, or not proposals, I always forget this word. 2 campaigns, right? Okay, so 2 different campaigns. We have dApp creation campaign and developer ecosystem. So in other words, if you want to get funded under one of these campaigns, you either have to answer the question, what dApps should be built to drive user adoption, or how can we encourage developers to build dApps on top of Cardano? I picked today to look at some proposals under the developer ecosystem section. Each section is allotted $250,000. So the way it works is the projects, the proposals with the most votes get funded, and then the next proposal gets funded, and so on until the money runs out. I encourage you also to look at these proposals. If you find them interesting, go back and kind of really look through them. We just kind of skim through them, give you a general idea, and you know what I think of it. All right, so the first proposal we're looking at today is called the Cardano Serialized Library on Go. In other words, this is a library for developers written in Go, or written with the Go language to help developers that know Go come into the Cardano ecosphere. This is what I said about this. This is a frustrating project. This is the second project I've gone over by this team, and I'll kind of explain why it's frustrating. The solution they're proposing, we want to create Cardano Serial Library for Go. It'll definitely help bring developers into the ecosystem for sure. It'll make it easier for people that know the Go language to come in and build on the Cardano ecosystem. So this does answer the fundamental question of how can we encourage developers to build on Cardano. So in that sense, it hits the nail on the head. The impact on the community and the net benefit of the community is, like I said, is right on par. And of course, it's scalable as Cardano grows. I'm sure the library will have to grow with it. The issue with the proposal and the other one by this team is just a lack of documentation and proof that they're developers, that they claim, what they say is, among our members are seasoned programmers with a vast blockchain experience, including with Goguen. They also claim to be Cardano pioneers with a first block minted on Cardano, and they don't even have their stake pool listed here. Now, like we look over here and we go, again, we've seen this website before, 5 Billionaires website, and they point us here as their evidence that they're developers, but it's just like a landing page, and if you click on Cardano, it just goes right back to the landing page. Same with anything. You can't click up here. Nix, it's going to go right back to the landing page, and the same thing with the translations here. So the only thing that does anything different is get in touch, and that just lets you send them email. So this is frustrating because this is a good idea, but it makes me think they're not really developers when they don't show any proof. Okay, but despite the fact that they can't prove they're developers, they are asking for a reasonable amount of money. They're only asking for $6,000, and they explain that they'd use the money for essentially 50 hours of engineering work at $100 per hour, or 100 euros per hour. And they're saying it's going to take 2 months to get it done. That all sounds reasonable to me. And even the price is reasonable. If you're going to build a library that developers are going to be able to continue using and using and using, I think that's a $6,000 well spent. But I think because they didn't supply links to their development, I don't find, I'm not comfortable kind of giving this my stamp of approval. I would, if they don't get funded this round, I would really like to see them come back and just fix this proposal up a little bit. You know what I mean? Just put on, just put some of your experience on the proposal, so we know that you're developers. And I think this proposal would have a good shot of getting funded, especially since the next fund is so much more money. Okay, let's move on to our next project. Our next project is called Cardano. It's a hackathon. Cardano Launch Global Hackathon. So the idea behind this is this is a pretty good idea. So generally what this petition wants, it wants to create a hackathon for Cardano to coincide with the Goguen convention. So evidently we're going to have some kind of a Goguen convention. It's either going to be all online like last year's Shelley convention, or we're going to have it half and half. But this is a great idea to have a hackathon coincide with it. But kind of the issue with this proposal is, well, let's start at the top here, right? So it's only this is basically only an idea. The idea is, like I said, to run a hackathon, and they want, okay, the feasibility of this project is a little tricky. So so essentially, the question is, are they going to bring developers to Cardano? Yes, a hackathon, absolutely. So they get A+ on that. And then next we got to look at the feasibility, right? So the feasibility of this project is a little bit harder. On one hand, the company Hackathon.com has a strong record of preparing and putting on successful hackathons. The proposer, I forgot to say this, the proposer who's doing this wants to join forces with Hackathon.com. So I said, on one hand, they have a good track record of putting on these hackathons, but on the other hand, the proposer doesn't have any experience doing this. And he says it himself in the proposal that he doesn't have experience doing this, and he'd like to be kind of a conduit to Hackathon.com to get them to work with him to do this. So essentially, that's what I put in my review. I said, look, if you can work with Hackathon.com, contact them, tell them you'll write the proposal up, and then you guys could work together. You know, the proposer could get the experience, and then Hackathon.com could put on the hackathon, obviously. And I think then it would have a much better chance of getting funded. As far as auditability, in other words, if they do this, is it going to happen? It's kind of the same thing with the feasibility section, right? If Hackathon.com is involved with it, you know, I'm sure it would be very easily auditable. They do it all the time, and I'm sure they have things that they do. In fact, he did link to a Google Doc that is from Hackathon.com. It's essentially like a brochure almost from Hackathon.com that shows how they do things. So, yeah, if they did it, it would be auditable. If he did it, or the proposer, then probably not. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he says that. So I would say, you know, contact Hackathon.com. Try to get an agreement with them. You can get experience, and you can get experience doing hackathon and experience with the proposal. And if you get the money, it'll be experience with the winning proposal. It's a win-win, even if you don't make any money doing it. So my advice was to come back with a partnership with Hackathon.com, you know, and come back with another proposal. Okay, so the last one we're going to go over here is called Tatum. This is interesting. This company integrates wallets, helps to integrate wallets. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And you know what? I didn't even flip over to the second project. Okay, we're on the right project now, which is this project. Okay, so what this company does is they create wallets. They help to make wallet creation easier. If you go over to the documentation here, it's really nice. You can see they've already worked with a lot of different companies. Oh, I'm sorry, a lot of different blockchains. This thing is kind of a pain in the butt to scroll, and it's not working. Let me see here. Okay, it's not letting me scroll. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can see they've worked with 16 different blockchains. I'm off camera here. 16 different blockchains. Well, take my word for it. I'll come look at the proposal. I promise you, there's 16 blockchains here. So when we look at the impact of this project and ask, does it fit? How can we encourage developers? I find that it does. The cool thing about this is they're already doing this, creating the wallets and helping create wallets, the wallet back end with 15 other blockchains. So if they add Cardano to this, not only are they going to bring in developers that want to do Cardano, but all the other people that are working with them with the other blockchains will probably also come over, or at least take a look at it. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to bring more developers in. So this project has the added ability to bring extra developers over, just because you're going to get people that are already used to working with their system, with their wallet integration. Let's see, the feasibility, I said, and the feasibility, in other words, are they going to be able to do this? Absolutely, 10 out of 10 for me, because they've done it before 15 times, so why wouldn't they do it now? So I'd say this is absolutely a feasible project. The trouble with this application, or this proposal, is the proposal itself. So it's really, really short, and although the money they're asking for, which is $15,000, is completely reasonable for this, I think absolutely reasonable. They don't break anything down. You know, there's no roadmap. They don't break down what they're going to use the money for. And unfortunately, no, it's not really unfortunate. You know, if you're asking for money from the Cardano community, I think, you know, we have a, sound bad, we have a right to see this. I mean, you know, you want to show what you're using the money for. You're not everyone who looks at this proposal or who votes on this proposal is going to be a developer. You know, the people that aren't developers aren't going to understand that it's kind of nuanced the way things go together. So you really have to create a better proposal when it comes down to roadmaps, when you're going to get things done, and how you're going to show it. I think if you do that, this project is you know, as close to a student as possible. Because of the developers it'll bring to the ecosystem. So if you don't get funded this time, I would suggest please come around next time and just add a roadmap to this. Expand on this a little bit, you know, fluff it up, I guess, a little bit, because the people who are going to be voting for this, they just want to see a little bit more information. But I like the proposal, and again, if they don't win, hopefully they'll come back next time. All right, let's talk a little bit here in the community section about Fund 4. So Fund 4 is coming out, and I'm going to read you off some of the stuff that Fund 4 is going to have. I couldn't go over this last time; I didn't have it all. So there's seven different sections for Fund 4, 7 different, you know, this word, I cannot remember this word. I'm going to burn it into my brain. 7 different campaigns. So we have 2 of the same campaigns, right? We have the, two of the same ones we had today, right? The an ecosystem campaign and a DApp campaign. And that's taken 600,000 of the 1 million. Next campaign is 1 million. All right. After that, we have a campaign called Decision Making Challenge. There's 50K ADA. We have a campaign called the Proposer Outreach Challenge, 50K in ADA for that. A campaign Catalyst Value Onboarding, 50K in ADA. Local community centers. This is in association with the Cardano Foundation. They want to build community centers, 50K in ADA. And challenge setting, and that's 400K in ADA in the next campaign. In other words, we're asking the community to set the challenge for the next fund, like what the challenge is going to be, like the DApp challenge, that sort of thing. The other ones I mentioned, if you're interested, much better for you to go read them yourself, because I don't have a whole lot of time to do it, and I don't want to get into the weeds here with all that. All the information I leave below, so you can go look these up on your own. Voting starts here soon. If you're interested in voting, registration is going on right now for. See how long the registration is going on. Registration. Well, it starts now. It's going on for like 2 weeks, so you're not going to miss it. I will find out the exact time, and my next video I'll come back and tell you exactly when the exact dates. But it is going on now, and you can register to vote right now. And you can use Datalist to vote. The new system is up. If you haven't updated it yet, update your Datalist. You can vote from Datalist. And I think Yoroi too, I think. All right, so we're going to stop here. I don't have much else to say. I don't want to just stare at the camera. So the big closing again is not a big closing. Enjoy your night. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow or next week. Either one. Take care.